G'day guys, and welcome back. Now, just before the video gets started, I want to say a few things. Firstly, I'm back. Hopefully, I should be uploading videos maybe 1 or 2 every fortnight. I'm sorry I did go away for so long, just had stuff on, had school, had prelim exams, had a lot of things on, a lot of stuff in life. I didn't really feel like making YouTube videos either. But I've had that itch recently, and I'm here, I'm making YouTube videos again. Also, as of recording this, we are 4 subscribers away from reaching 100 subscribers. Reaching 100 subscribers would mean so much to me. So if you guys can just scroll down and just check if there's a big red button there and you're not subscribed, click that red button and subscribe. It means such a big deal to me if you could do that. Alrighty guys, thanks. I'll catch you in the video. Alrighty guys. So today we're going to be having a look at the Mirage IIIC. This is a rank 5 battle rating 10.7 French supersonic fighter jet. This is, in my opinion, one of the best fighter jets in the game. At its tier, everyone's like, oh, the Phantom, or the MiG-21, I just love the Mirage. So here we're in a dogfight with an F-43, we dodge 2 of his AIM-9s, and we start pulling around. As you can see, the Mirage has 3 missiles. 2 on the wingtips, which are sort of AIM-9 type, and a big central one down the center line. The ones on the side are Marcher R550 Magic missiles. These are sort of AIM-9-ish. They have a 30G overload, and they have about I think it's about a 2-kilometer range. And the one along the center is the Marcher R530. It has a much longer range, but only 15 Gs of overload. You can see this Phantom popping flares, but the Marcher R550s go through the flares with ease. So pulling off from him and heading back into battle. So, the Mirage, it's got some really good speed, top speed. It can go at about 450 flat on the ground, at sea level. It's really good. It's also got some really good acceleration. Past about 700k an hour, its acceleration is really good. It also has 2 DEFA 5.52 cannons, 30mm cannons, which are really good. If you can get them on target, which you just need to learn the guns because they're different from pretty much anything else in the game, they're really, really good. And once you've learnt them, they, like 1 or 2 hits will destroy an entire plane. Also, the maneuverability of the Mirage is really good. I'd say it's probably one of the most maneuverable jets. I think the Draken's a tad bit more maneuverable, but this is definitely one of the best. Definitely got all the all-rounder traits. And but what it does, it sacrifices its energy retention for that maneuverability. We send off an R550 Magic at that F4C, he's got no chance. And here we are also fighting a lovely bout of Australian ping. We're going to fly towards these F4EJs over here, see if we can do anything about them. But yeah. And the Mirage also has a very, very good radar. The radar on the Mirage is probably one of the best in the game. Too bad it can't get blooming AM7s because it would work so well with the Mirage's radar. So this F4EJ is just getting away from us because he's got a bit of energy advantage on us. So we're just trying to catch up to him. He goes into the clouds. We can't get in with our missile. This is where having the radar tipped version of the R550 would work. So this R530 can have 2 variants. You can have a radar one that uses a semi-active radar homing missile, or you can have this one which is an infrared radar slaved missile. All the missiles on the Mirage are radar slaved, so you radar lock a target and they will only lock that target. This F4EJ decides to turn around, and if it wasn't for bloody Australian ping, I would have gotten a lovely shot with the missile here and probably gotten the W here. Now, Australia did use the Mirage, and I have a bit of a special connection to it because my dad was the Senjo of 77 Squadron in Australia, which is a squadron that uses Mirages, so a bit close to my heart there. So yeah, I do have a bit of a bias towards the Mirage. But we've got this F4EJ locked up. E turns to the side, about 2.5 kilometers, launch, and unless he pops flares, that's an easy dub. Easy 3 kills with a with some Aussie ping in there the mix. And as a celebration, I'm gonna pull a Cobra with my new joystick that I have. So maybe now that I've got this joystick, we might be able to see some simulator battles done. If you guys are interested, let me know down in the comments. Right, so now we're going to move on to our next battle, which is going to be on Korea. Okay, and here we are on Korea. So, how I like to play the Mirage is I go around the edges of the map to start with, and start the battle, and let the fight develop, and then come in, and not just let people catch me off guard. So this is about, I think, 3 to 4 minutes into the match, and I've spotted a Su-7B, and I'm heading into him, spooling up my R550 magic, using the weapon selector, which is very much so needed on the Mirage, so you can choose between your R530 and R550s. Got a good lock on him, good missile track, and I get a critical hit. I decide to pull back onto him and use the guns to finish him off. He pops smoke, obviously giving up, and 1 hit and he's dead. And I pull back round, and some brown stuff appears in my pants as I narrowly dodge 1 missile, and then narrowly dodge another. And then I realise that there's 4 enemies, 4 or 3 or 4 enemies right behind me in my tail, yeah, 3. And I decide that they're all heading the other direction currently, they're all still turning around. I've got a speed advantage, I'm going to hit the deck, use my acceleration, get up to speed, and run, and get some separation. So I was planning on getting about 4 kilometers separation from this MiG-21, and then I would turn around, pop a head on, and then try and engage a turn fight. But that does not go to plan. We do have our FDR-2, our random squad mate there, who is getting hounded by the MiG-19 and the MiG-21. Other MiG-21? Was it both MiG-19s? No, yeah, MiG-21 and MiG-19, but this MiG-21 SMT, which is on my tail, I thought he was a bit further away than he was. I thought he'd turned off. Obviously, he was closer than he was. I just narrowly avoid him. And I spool up a missile. Head on with that MiG-19 PT, no source. Shoot a, shoot a, magic missile at that MiG-19, and just as I'm doing that, I turn back in, miss my shots on the MiG-21, pull back around for this MiG-19 PT, then there's an SMT, I hear because I hear his planes on my tail, I turn around, MiG-21 SMT crashes, I get a nice pass, using a lot of ammo on that MiG-21 MF, so that's 2 more kills, so we're up to 3 kills now, if you count the crash as a kill. Because that's maneuver kill, and now we are in a turn fight with this MiG-19 PT. The Mirage definitely turns better than the MiG-19, but with a big missile on it, it's only just a tad bit better turn speed, because that big missile adds a lot of drag, and it also adds quite a decent bit of weight. So we're turning here, he gets a bit too close for comfort here, so I decide that I'm going to pull vertical and try and do a sort of invert sort of thing here, come back down on him. But he pulls up, I see he's pulling up, so I pull off, avoiding him, and I pull back around. I again see that I'm going to have a speed advantage, so I hit the deck and run to get some separation in between us so I can come back and re-engage. As I'm disengaging, getting ready to come back to re-engage, the random squad mate, the FGR2, who plays a big part in this battle, comes in and buzzes him, obviously gets no damage. I turn back round, not sure what this MiG-19 is going to do. He decides to put a head on, so I commit, and I get a nice head on. I would say that you can sort of commit to head-ons in the Mirage against most of Russian planes, but definitely not against like planes that have Vulcans and that sort of stuff, because those Vulcans will tear you to shreds. But anything that has other guns, you've pretty much got similar, if not better, firepower. Alright, so I have 2 minutes of fuel remaining, so I've decided that I very much so have to get back to base very quickly. So I turn straight back to base, and the last remaining enemy, who is White Laser, in his MiG-19, is over there. And our random squad mate in the FGR-2 is over there, with also our last other remaining squad mate in the F4C. But he is heavily damaged and is going to crash when he tries to land. So it's just down to me and this FGR to kill this MiG-19. At this point, the FGR-2, now that I talk to him later in the battle, he actually does not have many weapons remaining. So I decided, not knowing this at this point, of course, I spool up my R530, try to get a lucky shot in that MiG-19, but he evades. I go in to go for a gun run out of fuel, turn back, find where the airbase is, and go into glide in for a landing. Plenty of altitude and speed, easily going to make it back to base. So coming in here for a really nice smooth landing, which I was very proud of, except I pressed the V key instead of the C key to get a nice side view of the landing, because I very much so do like the look of the Mirage, and look how beautiful that thing is. But yes, so as we've been landing, our random squad mate in the FGR-2 has been hounding the MiG-19. He at this point has no more weapons remaining, so he's just been trying to pretend to get on gun runs and distract him, but while I was rearming. Now that I'm here, he's gonna, maybe he did have some ammo, I'm not sure. He buzzes in on the MiG-19. Does he even shoot? I don't know if he even shoots, I don't think he even shot there. Now he's gonna now R2B. And I'm gonna pull up and I'm gonna tell in all chat to the MiG-19 that you can take off because I want a fair fight. Don't want to strafe you on the airfield. Because I don't feel that strafing on an airfield is really fair. I'd much rather, have a dogfight, and even if he does win, by that time the FGR-2 will be up, and hopefully he'll be able to catch him off guard and hopefully get him if I fail the dogfight. Spoiler alert, I don't. So I'm going to spool up an R5 50 here. Start spooling it up in case to try and engage him into a turn so we can engage in a dogfight. I'm following him here. I can't really see him in the preview window, but I was able to see him in the real battle. So, spooling up the missile. I realise his turn, that's not going to work. Donk my shots there. So I pull up, try to put some of my energy into altitude and pull back around. Don't do this maneuver I did here. This bleeds your speed way too much. But it did manage to work out in this dogfight, but it did almost get me killed. So I'm pulling back up and around, just trying to get back onto his tail, because currently he's on my tail, and I don't like that. So I'm pulling up and over here. He decides to do my tactic, hit the ground and run. As this happens, the FGR actually says to me, he's out of fuel, so this is where I get a bit worried, and I'm like, okay, maybe I just need to win this dogfight, he might not make it back to base. So I decided to spool up the R550 to make him turn or just kill him. Now that missed, he avoided that, so up the R530, but he again maneuvers and avoids the R530. But at this point he's turned enough that I can get close enough. I'm going to spool up another R550, get a lock on him, about to launch, and then he turns. So I don't bother with that. Come in here for a nice pass, miss my shots, pulls back up, I'm G-locked, managed to get a critical hit on his right engine there, just now smoking. Now we're just in a bit of a, rolling scissors, turn and burn, all this sort of stuff. Just turning and pulling and just trying to get into a position. I miss my shots there. He pulls back down. I'm pulling up, trying to get my guns on target. I pull back up here. I realise at this point I'm getting a bit low on ammo. I'm getting scared. I again miss my shots. I'm really low on ammo now. I only got 34 rounds, so I decided to spool up a missile for the worst case scenario. He's pulling up, but then I get those lovely shots there, and he's dead. And I tell him in chat, GG, really good fight. White laser, if you're watching this video, which you probably aren't. Good fight, man. It was a really good fight. I really enjoyed that dog fight. It was a really good fight. So I got my dad yelling in the background, by the way. But yeah, celebratory Cobra, so celebrate that one. And that's going to be all for today, guys. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And hopefully, without such a big break this time, I will catch you next time.